So this is a good example here, and how the body works is the brain sends a message down the spinal cord. Spinal cord sends a message to the nervous system, and the nervous system controls every function of the body: heartbeat, lungs, breathe. That's page 4 of Grey's Anatomy. So we all know that's very, Grey's Anatomy says the nervous system controls and coordinates every function of the body, the nervous system. If people are suffering with allergies or any of those other symptoms we just talked about, I take an x-ray to see where's their curve, where is this first bone atlas. It should be at a 31-degree plane line. Looks like a plane shooting off. But what happens is it goes straight, and that's when it starts causing problems. And then also we look at, again, where's the disc space, because now it's starting to get narrower and the nerve's starting to be affected.
Welcome, everybody, to the Healthy Habit Podcast. You're tuned in to episode number 114 here, 114, and I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center. And today we're doing our chiropractic check-in with our favorite chiropractor here in the state of Arizona. Dr. Roxane Zamora is back with us here today, and she's been practicing in North Phoenix at the same location for 14 years. Dr. Zamora provides chiropractic corrective care and car accident care for all ages. And of course, she's a doctor of chiropractic medicine, and we'll highlight her services here today. And her website, Imagine Wellness Chiropractic, is the name of her clinic. And we'll link all that information here below the video with her phone number if you wanted to book an appointment and things of that nature. So welcome back, Dr. Roxane, to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be here and talk to you and your people.
Likewise. So what's been new there in the practice? What's been on your radar here? Let's say since the last time we spoke. This will be coming out in early April, maybe second week of April 2024. Last time we spoke was for our March check-in. So let's hear what's been going on the last month. What's on your radar here in the world of chiropractic?
Yes. What's exciting for us is and I'm sure you see it too, a lot of allergies now are starting to happen for people. And it's been brutal. So a couple things we look at is how can we help the immune system? And every time you get adjusted, it helps boost your immune 200%. So that's always exciting for us. And for anybody who would like, you can sign up for every month we send out an email. Last month it was on mental health and chiropractic, how it can help. And then the week after that, it was on shingles and how chiropractic can help, and some supplements as well that people can incorporate. So we look at kind of every month we have a new health tip that we send out. Every week we have one for patients in the office, but once a month we send out a newsletter. So people can always follow us at imaginewellnesschiropractic.com and sign
right
up.
There, they put their email in the website there?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then find us in Green Living Magazine or Natural Awakening too, because we write articles for there as well.
Very nice.
So people who want to stay up to date, don't have time, they can always check out the email and look at it later as well. So, so I would say allergies is definitely a factor for people, especially with that wind whipping around. It causes havoc for people. So we look at boosting the immune system. In our office, we typically put in the diffuser lemon, peppermint, and lavender. That's like an allergy blend for people that want to do something at home as well. That's a great remedy for a home diffuser. And then sometimes we'll use, it's called Breathe. It's also a great essential oil to put in the diffuser. But looking at this, I'll show you, for people who are new, everyone who's seen us before know that we look at the spine because spine controls nerve and nerve controls an organ. And so this is a good example here, and how the body works is the brain sends a message down the spinal cord. Spinal cord sends a message to the nervous system, and the nervous system controls every function of the body: heartbeat, lungs, breathe. That's page 4 of Grey's Anatomy. So we all know that's very, Grey's Anatomy says the nervous system controls and coordinates every function of the body, the nervous system. So we always say, well, what controls the nervous system is the spine. So I always go back to the spine, because spine controls nerve, nerve controls organ. So when we have patients come in, if they're suffering with allergies, more than likely their first vertebrae, their atlas or C1, is usually has some kind of misalignment. And so then it starts causing problems for people. So we take x-rays, and when we look at a normal x-ray, you should have a nice curve like this. I don't know how much you can see, but it has perfect. A nice curve and open disc space. So everything's functioning. But what happens with life, our life on the computer, cell phones, old injuries, people who were in sports even when they were young, even fender benders, car accidents, the curve now can go straight. So that's when aches and pains start to develop. And you can see this first bone, that atlas, it pulls up and it literally pulls the brainstem down. And that's when it can cause problems with allergies.
Wow.
It can cause problems with depression, anxiety for kids who have problems focusing, or adults, because it puts pressure on the brainstem and it puts the body like on an overload. So if people are suffering with allergies or any of those other symptoms we just talked about, I take an x-ray to see where's their curve, where's this first bone atlas. It should be at a 31-degree plane line. Looks like a plane shooting off. But what happens is it goes straight, and that's when it starts causing problems. And then also we look at, again, where's the disc space, because now it's starting to get narrower and the nerve's starting to be affected. And that's phase 1. So we look and see where are people, because if it's not corrected in phase 1, it degenerates into phase 2, where now the disc is got degenerative disc disease, arthritic spurs are building up on either the front or the back. And now it's getting progressively more chronic. People are having more aches and pains. And they're also then starting to have disease build up in the organ because of that pressure on the nerve. Then this is not functioning at 100%. So we look and see, all right, is it normal, phase 1, phase 2, or is it phase 3? Now, phase 3 is where it fuses together. The disc is gone, degenerative, and the arthritic spurs build up and they start to fuse. So I look and I see, where are you in this? What organs are being affected and building disease? And that's why we know scoliosis is bad, because bone on nerve degeneration or disease builds in the organ. So that's why we always start with x-rays as well as a health history and see what are the symptoms. And then I look at creating a care plan by how's the curve, is it straight from the front, is the pelvis, and then what organs are being affected, how do we fix it?
Wow, what a great breakdown, Dr. Zamora. Thank you for that. And you gave us the step-by-step, the behind the scenes, if you will, for how you operate, on this, helping people. So have you ever seen, because common symptoms when someone's dealing with allergies, they have that congestion, stuffiness, headaches, even migraines can get flared up, coughing, mucus.
Absolutely.
Have you seen that get relieved from chiropractic? That's incredible.
Yeah, and I also will use the activator. It's a little handheld instrument that I will work on the sinuses as well, and it starts draining right away. And I just had a patient here, my last patient, he's had chronic sinus issues for, he said, 20 years. And then today he told me, you know what? It's not bad at all. He's like, I can't believe the difference. And he comes with his daughter, and the daughter's like, I noticed it too. I just didn't even think to say it. So we've had great success helping people with allergies. And do you guys carry standard process?
Yeah.
People, Drenamin. run to Healthy Habits, Dr. Yan, and get Drenamin.
Okay.
I mean, that stuff is magical. I've had people who, they start getting adjusted, and I'm like, have you considered taking Drenamin as well? And it's all natural. There's nothing synthetic, and it is helpful. It's super helpful. So once we can get the atlas in a better space, we have to help the body get, even more with supplements. I read an article, because I had read a book on why we need supplements now, because our food is so deficient in minerals and nutrients. Like, it's in the book, it was saying for a bowl of salad to get the nutritional equivalent from a bowl of salad in the 80s, we would have to eat 13 bowls today to get that. And then I just read an article from National Geographic that even said it. And I was like, okay, if National Geographic is saying it, the information is getting out there. So I initially didn't supplement for people, but now, because our food is so deficient, our air is so toxic, I started incorporating supplements, and I really like Drenamin. So
amazing.
Yeah. So our body really almost needs supplements on top.
And I pulled up here. This is Drenamin that Dr. Zamora is referring to right here.
Yeah, it is wonderful. I've had people get off Zyrtec and Claritin and all those things that really don't help. Drenamin is wonderful. So definitely you guys stop in Healthy Habits and pick up Drenamin if you got allergies.
Right.
And it's great because even for kids, you can break it down and put it in food. And again, it's all food-based, nothing synthetic. It's super helpful.
Amazing. Okay, thanks for giving that product a plug. And you're not even associated with Standard Process at all. You just like the product. So thanks for that. That's just a genuine recommendation.
Yeah, it's really helpful. Yeah.
Amazing. So, okay, Drenamin, we're all stocked up here with Standard Process, which, by the way, you can't do that. You can't get that at any other store really in the whole state, where you can't. It's only at doctor's offices usually, or online through practitioner line, right? So that's another blessing and benefit of shopping here at Healthy Habit. We carry the full line here at Standard Process and other practitioner lines as well. So, and I want to give a quick highlight here to Imagine Wellness Chiropractic, superb chiropractic care with a personal touch. You see the phone number up here, 623-582-8951. And by the way, I love what you did with your website, Dr. Zamora. It looks beautiful, incredible right here, where we have testimonials. Phoenix, Arizona, right at 822 East Union Hills Drive, Unit 22. Just straight down 7th Street from the store, and then you'll get to Union Hills. It's up in that area. So same location, over 13 years. You're originally from Illinois. I'm just learning that right now, unless I forgot. But wow. Okay. So
I got tired of the cold. I'm like, half the Midwest is here because we're like, this is my last winter. I'm not doing it anymore. And then we move up here. So.
And you can see a review here. Dr. Z is so great. She doesn't only practice chiropractic, she actually practices wellness. Okay. And you can tell just from her personality how much she loves helping her patients. So really, really good stuff there. And not only for a sore back, folks, if you got allergies, you might want to consider visiting Dr. Zamora, right? So how else can we go about helping people? Well, that's why this show is important. You help people to guide them on this type of information instead of just taking Zyrtec, right?
Right. Yeah, because you're really not getting to the root cause. You're covering up potentially a symptom, and those really don't even cover up the symptom very well. Well, as Standard Process, their goal was to, give the body nutrients and then help it heal. And so that's why I really like them. And just a reminder too, like, please, if you're listening, do not buy Standard Process products from Amazon or somewhere else, because true Standard Process products are only sold by doctors' offices. So we got an email a couple of years ago from Standard Process saying people were bootlegging or making counterfeit Standard Process and selling it online. So save your money, because you're probably getting counterfeit products if you're buying it from Amazon. You really, Standard Process, their integrity is to sell it directly to doctors. And so I'm saying that, like,
thank you.
rehab it,
Yeah.
or your chiropractor or your naturopath, get it from them if you want the genuine product. Or you'll probably get a crappy one and then be like, it's not really working. Well, it's probably because it's counterfeit. So I just wanted to throw that out
Thank you
there
for
too.
that.
When
Yeah.
you're looking at supplements, for them, their integrity is great. And they
Right.
only sell to doctors. So
And they've been around since the 30s, this
yeah,
company. It's
1929,
fascinating.
Lee
Yeah.
started it.
Going on
Yeah,
100 years here.
yeah, and they love
So
what they do. And then
very
I was
good.
going to tell you today
Yeah.
because I know a lot of people have sciatic issues. And we just had somebody today, they were like starting to cry after I adjusted them. I was like, are you okay? And they're like, yes, it's just the first time I've had relief in
Wow.
months. I wish I would have done it sooner. And so I always tell people, like, if you're considering it, don't put it off. My old business cards used to say the 5 most dangerous words. Maybe it'll go away.
Mm.
It doesn't go away. It just continues to get worse, right? It's like if you have a toothache, it's going to degenerate into a cavity. If
Yeah.
you don't correct that cavity, it turns into a root canal. That's the physics of degeneration in the body. And the spine is the same. So if you're starting to have aches and pains and you're like, oh, it's just not going away as quick as it used to, you really need an x-ray.
Yeah.
Let's see what phase of degeneration, and especially sciatica. You really want a x-ray of the pelvis so you can see how rotated it is, if it's like one short leg causing the pelvis to shift and then causing musculature. And then the sciatic nerve, I mean, literally, it's as thick as my thumb. It's a huge, thick
Wow.
nerve. It goes right through the belly of the piriformis. If your pelvis shifts, it clamps right down on the sciatic nerve. So that's why I say come in, get x-rays. There's no need to suffer if you don't need to, because it doesn't go away. It just gets worse. So get in, get an x-ray so I can see how rotated the pelvis is,
Right.
and then get you some relief because it's excruciating. I see it in the patient's face, and it's so exciting when they, I don't like it that they're crying, but
Yeah.
it was tears of joy
It's a good
that,
cry.
why did I put it off so long when, because it's funny too, two people had told this patient about my office and they didn't even know each other.
Oh, wow.
So I always love that too. They're like, I knew it was a sign I need to get in. I had that happen quite a bit.
Yes,
So
exactly. Yeah, because you're putting out nothing but genuine energy, so
yeah,
um, gotta,
that's my mission, help my community be well. And just like you, we want our community to be well. We want
that's right.
goodness and wellness for everybody in our community.
That's it. And
So
then everything else takes care of itself after that.
yeah,
You mentioned, so we've hit on allergies and sciatica. You broke down the different phases there of spinal degeneration. Let's hit more on the mental health aspect, anxiety and depression. The rates have been going up like this since the
yeah,
age of the internet. And a big part
yeah,
of it, obviously, there's many root causes to anxiety, depression, but structural, I think that's up there, top 5, because of our
yeah,
hunched over postures. What types of
yes.
things have you seen when it comes to anxiety, depression, and mood issues?
Because 90% of the stimulation to the brain is from the spine.
Oh, yeah.
90%. So that's huge. For your brain to be functioning
Wow.
well, you have to have a healthy spine. Because again, that first bone, if it pulls up, it literally pulls the brain stem down and it puts it on an overload. Like you couldn't relax if there's always pressure on the brain stem. And the beauty of my professional career is I started my career in the mental health field as a psychotherapist. Um, and so I did that. I worked in a state hospital with patients who had schizophrenia. I worked at an in and outpatient hospital for people who had dual diagnosis, substance abuse, and mental health concerns. So that is my first background. But my concern was I started seeing it was only about medding people, giving them medications and making them be compliant. And that was it. It wasn't about therapy. It wasn't about looking at the environment for them at home. Because if you have a chaotic environment at home, your partner is beating you up or treating you poorly, your mental health is going to suffer. You could take a medication to maybe dull that, but it's not going to go away. And then it will manifest into a physical ailment. And so in 2000, I was like, this system is not what I want to do anymore. And that's when I went to chiropractic school. So I've been doing that since 2000. So now I see the body as a whole. How do we help the mental wellness and the physical body? And one, it's by looking at the atlas, that first bone, because again, 90% of the stimulation to the brain is from the spine. So I measure the atlas, where's the angle of it, how much pressure is it putting on the nerve supply, how do we remove that? And then look at how and as a whole can we help the body heal. And there's a thing, a phenomena in chiropractic called retracing, where once you get adjusted, it literally is at a cellular level, the body starts to heal and improve. So you can even do retracing of old traumas. I've had people actually get adjusted and start crying, say, I don't know why I'm crying. And I'm like, I do, it's okay, I understand. It's retracing, you're unlocking those old traumas and helping the cells release it.
Wow.
And
That's
I know
powerful.
it sounds like woo-woo, but it's factual.
That's
body
powerful.
can trace, and you have to remove the interference and allow the body to heal. And that interference we call subluxation. So I remove the subluxation and the body starts healing. And people's mood improve, their outlook on life improves. There's a huge connection between mental health and chiropractic. Even BJ Palmer, who started chiropractic college in the 20s, he founded a hospital for people who had mental health conditions. And the patients were so much better. But of course, sometimes the medical system doesn't care for that. So that caused conflict. But they knew, even BJ Palmer knew chiropractic and mental health. Any subluxation is going to interfere with somebody being well mentally, physically, spiritually. So
incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure you've had a lot of patients cry tears of joy on your table there after an adjustment, right? I'm sure that's happened many, many times, right? Over the years.
It's so exciting because I know what's happening and I'm happy for them because, man, it's life changing. I mean, they literally start having a different outlook on life. Their mood is vastly improved. And on a side note, again, for supplements, you guys, vitamin D3 helps boost your mood. So while you're at Healthy Habits getting Drenamin, pick up vitamin D3 because that also helps boost your mood. So
very good. That's tips of the trade.
See where is the atlas, help it get off the brain stem and help the body heal overall.
Amazing, Dr. Zamora. Perfect. And again, 3 phases of spinal degeneration. We want that slight curve there at the top, correct? We want that. Yeah. You don't want it to be perfectly straight. And that's only the phase 1, right? And then you can even get the stenosis then, where you lose the disc space, losing the disc height. So of course there's different levels. That's why you're doing x-rays, correct?
Yes. Yep.
To know where we're at. So again, Dr. Roxane Zamora, thank you for coming on here for episode 114. Got a couple more minutes to go. We've hit on so many good, important topics here. Like Dr. Zamora mentioned, we're in the allergy season here in Arizona and surrounding states, where a lot of people have been coming in here to the store with the congestion, that sinus pressure, difficulty even breathing, the mucus, coughing, all this kind of stuff. So yes, chiropractic can potentially play a role. We're not here giving medical advice that's specific, but we're trying to get you in the right direction here that you can explore more on that. So as well, mental health, anxiety, depression. If you've never tried chiropractic and you're dealing with severe crippling anxiety, depression, or allergies, I think it might be worth a try. Dr. Zamora, what do you think?
I think it's definitely want to get it checked out because there's a huge correlation between the two. So you always want the spine to be healthy. That's my message. A healthy spine is a healthy body. A sick spine is a sick body because that's how the body works. The
It's
spine controls
unbelievable.
the nerve controls the organ.
Yeah.
To be, you need a healthy spine.
The one thing I love about having you on and talking chiropractic is because it's one of the few examples of truly getting to the root cause of
Yes.
the health issue, literally and figuratively. You're getting to the nerve root,
Yeah.
and it's the root cause, so it's on so many ways chiropractic is hitting these root issues.
Yeah. Yep.
So literally everything stems from that spine and feeds the
Yes.
entire body.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. And there's a quote I read. It's like the flexion addicted society. We're constantly in that flexed position,
Yeah.
right? And so then that causes all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the most common thing that you see in the practice? The most common reason people will come to you? What would you say?
I say is it headaches or
Okay,
sciatica.
got it.
And we
Those would be the
know
big two.
headaches, the atlas is going to be rocked up and putting pressure on the brainstem. So a lot of headaches where people have had headaches for so long. It's funny when I say, how long have you had them or how often? They're like, not that often. And I always have to clarify because if they've had them every day and now it's just once a week, to them, it's not very often. To me, not very often is like once in a year or, every 6 months, I might get a headache.
Right.
So I always clarify how often is often for you. So
That's
definitely get for headaches.
That's so true. Even in my office, you got to you got to get specific numbers.
Yeah. Yes.
How many times in the
Yeah.
last week or in the last
Correct.
2 weeks? Like I'll
Yeah.
ask people, when was your last massage? And they're like, not too long. It was 4 months ago. Okay. What if you brushed your teeth only once in 4 months?
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yes.
well, what do you want to leave us with here, Dr. Zamora? Last minute or so, give a little recap before the next time we have you on.
Come in, get checked. What phase of degeneration is your spine in? Remember, 90% of the stimulation to your brain is from the spine. So to be functioning at 100%, you want a healthy spine, and you want to know what phase of degeneration you're in. I would say come in and let's find out.
Well, thank you for your time, Doc, and I look forward to our next one.
All right.